Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today, being gay is political, but not in the way you're thinking. So theoretically, in a ideal world, maybe years past, politicians supported their ideas with very grounded concepts. I'm going to make the streets safer. I'm going to make your paycheck go further. I'm going to make sure that your children aren't drowning in debt. I'm going to make your life in general better. Politicians very rarely do this now, and it's because it's not sexy. It's not emotive. What politicians do now is they use polarizing language. Both the left and the right talk about how the other side is going to destroy the world. They're going to take away your rights. They're going to make everything so expensive you can't afford anything. The world will be filled with crime and danger, nuclear missiles and all of that. Unfortunately, because of this polarizing world, your little identity of being gay has been targeted as a source of emotion, a source of making you vote for them because they're the ones wearing the Pride Parade flag. They're the ones who are, marching in the parade. They're the ones singing to Lady Gaga. And in a sense, it's a bit of queer washing. It's this idea that I am the one you should vote for. It's just like how these companies dress up in Pride Parade stuff and they market themselves really hard in the Pride Month to make you buy their products. Politicians do it too. And unfortunately, we often fall for it. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with supporting your political party and with them, talking about how they're so LGBT friendly. There's nothing wrong with voting for someone who actually puts their money where their mouth is. There's nothing wrong with saying, actually, these people supported my rights. These people helped get gay marriage in. These people did this or that. But there is a problem when you are voting or putting your support behind an issue just because it is caked in LGBT ideology or, it looks friendly on the outside. The danger becomes when issues arise, whether they're cultural or economic or political, and you are expected to believe one side or the other just because you're gay. And I think we see this in every area. Like examples are a lot of farmers around where I live are very much in the right-wing center of politics. And politicians just assume that the farmers will vote conservative because they have painted themselves in that rural lifestyle. We're honest, hardworking, right-winger folk. We're gonna vote conservative because that's what we do. That kind of ideology is really toxic. It's toxic when they do it, and it is also toxic when some city slicker liberal talks about how you got to vote for us because we're the LGBT party. You have to vote for your best outcomes. What the politicians say and what they do are very different. And so you have to follow what their actions are and what is actually determined. What I hate is having a conversation with somebody and they say, well, I'm gay, so of course I'm going to vote for these people. Okay, so that tells me you've given it zero thought about your actual opinions and objectives and what you need in life. And furthermore, it's just a frustrating way to choose your political party. You should really be looking at all the issues. Being gay is just one of the many things that makes you who you are. And to put that in the sole focus is exactly what the politicians want. They want to secure your vote in the easiest way possible. And that's what polarization is. It's this idea that we are going to make it so extreme. We're going to make it like night and day. And if you're voting for the other side, you are the enemy and you are betraying yourself. And it's one of the things that really frustrates me when I see online discourse about an issue related to the LGBT community and somebody says, oh, well, I guess you can't have that view. You can't see it from that side because you're gay. How dare you? You're betraying us. Being gay is a small part of our identity. And to say that someone is betraying themselves and internalize homophobia and all of this kind of stuff just to get you to vote the other way, That is the worst way to try and convince someone. If you're going to convince me to vote for you politically, actually follow through with the actions that you say you're going to do, and don't just try and appeal to my emotion. Don't just try to appeal to my identity. I have a lot of identities. I live in the world. I have a myriad of experiences, and I don't want some politician to try and paint me in a single color, ironically enough, and just assume that I will vote for them because of this one identifying factor. As I've said before, I feel very politically homeless in this day and age. I find many issues on both the left and the right virtually untouchable. And I think that's why we're seeing a huge number of people not voting. And the more the politicians rave and shout from the rooftops all of this hyperbolic language about how the other side is going to destroy the world, the more people are just going to switch off. And so what I'm asking is, if you're watching this video and you're still here, when a politician says something very hyperbolic, actually examine it, actually look into it. I'll give you one example, and please understand, again, I'm politically homeless. I don't identify with any political party. I find them all pretty corrupt, pretty, vapid, and unable to get their points across. But this example really rubbed me the wrong way. And in Canada, we had an election 6, 7, 8 months ago. And one of the things that the Liberal Party in Canada, our left-wing party, said was that our Conservative Party wanted to eliminate gay marriage. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, but that's absolute garbage. I don't care. If you're Canadian and you genuinely believe that the Conservative Party of Canada wanted to get rid of gay marriage, you have absolutely drunk the Liberal Kool-Aid. Now, again, I'm not saying I didn't necessarily vote for Mark Carney and the Liberals, but I'm saying that tactic that they used to say that the Conservative Party of Canada wanted to get rid of gay marriage was completely unfounded. The leader at the time, the Conservative leader at the time, Pierre Poilievre or whatever his name was, had been to Pride parades and was absolutely not interested in trying to take away gay marriage. But it was used online and across Canadian politics as a way of saying, oh, the Conservatives here, they're just as bad as the Republicans down in the States. And separate what you want about that, but it wasn't true. It wasn't a thing. I'm not a Canadian Conservative. I'm not a Canadian Liberal, but I knew that was a lie. Like, I had done my research, and that was just a blatant lie, and it was emotive, and it was a way of politicizing the gay community against a party. Do I think voting Conservative in Canada was the good idea? No, not at all. But a lie is a lie. And that kind of emotive language is not okay in a functioning democracy. And if you can't see that, we have a big problem. That is my example of the politicization of the gay community. Some other examples include just random topics, whether it's, any kind of right or taxation policy or whatever. And people online will get on and say, like, if you're gay and you're voting for that, you have internalized homophobia. No, you don't. You just have a different opinion and a different perspective. You're allowed to think critically. You're allowed to think about exactly what you're looking for. I'm not saying the left-wing parties aren't a good choice if you're gay. A lot of them have absolutely progressed gay rights and protect our rights and enshrine women's rights, and I support absolutely all of that. However, do not vote for a party just based on your political identity or your sexual identity. That's crazy. That's all I'm saying. I'm very interested in your comments on this one. I've tried to make this video like 3 times. Is this the one that I post? I don't know. We will see. But again, please be respectful. I'll make a promise to you guys. I won't talk about politics anymore. This is my one and only. Like, you guys know me. I don't like talking about politics. I'm not some like closeted conservative. Neither is Taylor Swift. leave her alone. I've seen so many comments about how Taylor Swift is a secret conservative. I'm like, no, she's not. Like, leave her alone. But I swear, like, I'm not some secret conservative or secret super liberal person. I am genuinely like right in the center. I have very common sense politics, and I think you could see that after like 1,000 videos on here. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'd love to know your thoughts about voting on stuff just because you're gay, or just because you're a lesbian, or just because you identify as a battleship. Whatever it is, I'm interested in your politics. I'm interested in your perspective. Be respectful. And as always, I hope you're having an amazing day, week, month, year, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.